Okay, this is the meeting of the Littleton Historical Commission, November 12th, 7 p.m., 7:10 p.m. We have a quorum. Chris isn't coming because he had to pick up his son, but he's gonna send in information about the plaques, I think. So when we get to that, we'll see. So, I think I'm gonna start with administrative things. There are a few member updates. One is, at 12 Robinson Road, the historic sign that Chris made, the wooden sign is up. It looks really good. And then a few of us had an informational meeting with the owners and tenants of, 12 Robinson Road a couple of weeks ago about the preservation restriction. And do you want to say how it was, or do you want me to?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So when we first arrived, we went to the meet with the tenants and Joe Cataldo's Ryan, who's his
The project manager.
project manager. And I think that the family had a lot of questions about the tenant and her husband had a lot of questions.
So they are living in the main house?
They're
They
renting.
are.
Yeah, renting, but that was.
They're renting the main house. Lots of questions about the process, about the deed restrictions in general. Stating that they moved from Maryland, they've lived in previous historic homes, but never recounted any sort of the restrictions. So I think they were really kind of surprised, maybe taken back. I think Shanti, who was with us, did a really good job of just sort of walking them through the basis of why this existed. And so I think it ended up turning out okay.
So the reason you're wondering why the tenant was even, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess a little bit of like, no, I mean, it's great, good that they wanted to be informed and everything, but yeah, it's like, when you're a tenant, you're not really gonna.
I guess her family is thinking of maybe buying it,
Oh.
which is why they were so interested.
Yeah.
And she was a little put off by hearing that if there's any structural issues, that the owner has to pay for those,
Yes.
repairs.
I think also the fact that there's an annual tour or annual inspection inside of the home was something she wasn't comfortable with.
Right. She's familiar, I think, with historic districts where they just look at the outside of the home, I believe. I mean, usually historic districts just only cover the outside, right? So that's what she was familiar with, and she was like, why come inside? But that's different than the preservation restriction, which ours does cover certain interior elements, so. But,
So,
you know,
it was a lively conversation.
it was.
I think she asked very good questions. And I think that those in attendance did a very good job representing the reason for our visit and why we were there to orient her on the process. And Ryan and her husband showed up a little bit later. So I think it was all said a successful visit, though I'm not sure that she will move forward with purchasing the property after the conversation.
And then we met with the second guy who lives in the barn. He owns the barn.
Yes.
And that was a whole different conversation.
Yeah, so he's a young gentleman, maybe a few years out of college. I think his roommate and his girlfriend may still be in college. I'm not sure. They seemed like they were studying. But his grandfather was a historical preservationist.
And apparently a very famous one who Shanti, our consultant, knew.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Just a coincidence.
Yeah.
And she was very impressed that was this guy's grandfather.
Yes.
You remember the name?
No. Oh, what was his name?
It was in Maine, though.
Right, but he has the
Oh.
same name as his grandfather, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. But, this guy was very familiar with historic preservation. He had worked with his grandfather And he was very pro historic preservation, so it was a
Oh, good.
very interesting conversation,
That's
right?
very interesting. Though in other ways, it was kind of interesting because he was totally on board, totally supported us. And then at the kind of end, he kind of did the zinger and he said, well, you know, this space was completely reconstructed and that historical beam is actually a faux beam. It's just placed there. So that's not a structural element. And as a matter of fact, all the structural elements are covered up. So technically, you can only expect from the outside in 5 or 10 years when this may be an issue. Like he kind of, you know, he was good. He
Yeah.
got us,
He
but he was cool.
Yeah.
what Shanti explained to him is that if there's any structural issues happening inside, we want to look at that, make sure there's no structural issues happening in the interior.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
So anyway, that was a good visit.
I think it was a good visit and I thought it was also good because while it is indeed that his property may be the lowest concern for compliance compared to the main house, I got the sense that he could very well end up being the head of the HOA because he seems like he's kind of a go forward, engaged, active person. And then also, if we need another commission member, he may be a very good in-town choice since he seems to have a personal interest in history.
That'll be great.
Good point.
So we did some recruiting.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something too.
I totally did. I
Yeah.
said, you'd be great on that. If we had a spot, you'd be great to join us.
Well, I only have less than a year
Oh,
left.
no.
on my-
No,
We don't want to hear
No.
that,
no.
I'm an old man, you know.
but you're so good at it.
Okay.
So then we also
Older
went,
than Biden.
what? Yeah, older than. We also went to the First First Baptist Church. Andrew and I and Shanti, was there
Yeah.
anyone else there?
The woman,
Yeah, the woman was
pastor.
Chris, no.
No, Chris was not there.
Yeah. Oh, Chris was at the 12 Robinson Road
That's right.
inspection. And I think you've been away, but I don't know how much you know, but the First Baptist Church, it's in the middle of town. It's the big
Yeah.
white church.
I was here for this
Okay.
meeting. I missed last month.
Yeah, okay. So they think they're gonna sell the church because they can't afford to keep it. So they're trying to figure out their options. So we wanted to go look at it. And so one of the women from the church led us around. She was very nice. We looked at the interior, Shanti, and we identified historically significant, what we believe are historically significant elements inside, in the interior and the exterior. So that was a good meeting.
Was this the one with the stained glass windows that I know there was some talk of like that maybe going to the historical society?
If they were going.
If they were going anywhere, yeah.
She did mention that, actually. I meant to mention that to you, but I forgot.
Well, they were CPA, weren't they? Weren't they CPA?
Yeah, that was,
That was the.
Oh, no, that was-
the bell tower, the CPA.
Bell Tower
Bell
was
Tower.
CPA.
but there was some like historic significance to the windows.
Aren't they like worth 100, like they were insured for
That's what it was.
$100,000?
Like a long time ago, they were.
Yeah, if they were offered up, that you would definitely.
Yeah, we wouldn't want them to.
Yeah.
Go anywhere.
And there were some windows, I forgot which ones they were, but had historical figures on the window,
There
stained
were
glass
people in
windows.
town, like
Yeah,
Town-
they're dedicated
towns
to.
people.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what it was. I can't quite remember.
Church has one.
Yeah.
With Hannah Dodge's name on it and.
Oh,
little
yeah.
Flag.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they also found some art in their rec room that appeared to represent old parishioners that were of town significance, though we didn't really know who they were.
Yeah, Carolyn Society might know.
Indeed. And then I think what I took out of it was there's some challenges, which is the building appears to have been raised. So the first floor is really the second floor. And then the whole outside of it is vinyl clad, so it's not sort of, you get into that sort of historical fabric conversation. And then Shanti kind of had some concerns that while it's clad, because there's some deterioration, there could be water getting in behind the vinyl siding and affecting the original wooden clapboards, so. Yeah, but it does look like, I guess it was probably built without a foundation and then raised to put a foundation underneath it. So,
So, and so one thing that this woman mentioned, I forget her name, I'm sorry, but, the woman from the church, they would like to be in touch with some nonprofits. They're already in touch with other churches that might, who knows, coordinate with them. But they'd like to be in touch with some nonprofits who also might be interested in coordinating with them. So, I said, well, we'll try to get some information to you, but, I think I sent an email to the select board letting them know that she was interested in that information.
It
One,
might be good
Yeah.
to suggest that they could talk to people who have, should I say, repurposed old churches in various, places around it, but certainly, I mean, it's hard to do, but, just in this area, there are a number of things a number of people who've done that, and very successfully,
right,
I
and we
think.
talked about it at our last meeting or two,
yeah,
some of those things. So yes, that's definitely a good idea.
There's the Matisse Gallery in Groton, there's that, what do they call it again, the,
oh, in Westford.
Parish Center in Westford, I guess.
So,
It's hard though. I mean, I take it. You get the right person, it can be a great, a great
Yeah.
possibility, but, because the buildings are old and
Right.
interesting and unusual, but, they're not easy always to figure out how you make something of them.
Right, but I think that's a great idea that they could talk to those people. I'll let her know.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I got the, so I tend to ask more of the structural questions. So the woman who gave us the tour, it was one of the three officers of the church. She plays the role of the chief financial officer. And they've already hired, a real estate, person, and a lawyer. And the real estate person kind of suggested that they approach also other churches, like in the Boston area, that are parishioners without a church, which, I guess that's a big thing. And then they were kind of open to the, repurposing but at the end of the day, they are in a divest mindset. So,
Yeah.
Do they have a timeline of when they'd like to?
yes, approximately 1 year.
Okay, so long time.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're also needing to decide the future of their church corporation. And I think that has a tremendous bearing because it sounds like, once they divest of the property, then they become basically a virtual church. And so they'll need to continue to operate and have membership and all the things. So they'd be looking, I think, to divest for income, right, to keep that afloat. However, she also mentioned that the parish is older, that they're sort of less members. And so one of the things they had kind of talked about was dissolving the corporation. And so that's an interesting thing because technically, if you dissolve the corporation, then you don't really need proceeds from your property because you're dissolving your corporation. So in that case, I think you may see potentially a low cost transaction with the town or with a nonprofit or something like that.
I
But
see,
that's up to them.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Did we go over this before? Is there it's Baptist, right?
What's that?
Yes.
They're
I think so.
Baptist?
Yes,
Is there I feel like we talked about this last time and I can't remember, but is there a national
Oh, yeah, I
Baptist,
know, that's a
like,
good question.
Yeah, there's some kind of
Organization?
Baptist society, I think.
Okay.
Well, because I had asked him about the records, and
Yeah,
he said those would be transferred to the American Baptist Society or
Okay.
something like that. I know the Congregational Church is similar too. There's like an overall council that
Right.
they would do, so I kind of assume that's the same
yeah,
thing.
so that would be like there'd be, their archives would go off
Yeah.
As
to,
I understand it, I mean, there are several Baptist organizations in the United States that have lots and lots of members, but Baptists, like I believe the Congregationalists and the Unitarians, it's basically the local church that owns the property and is the church, unlike, say, Catholics, where
Right.
where the churches are owned by the diocese or,
right,
you know, whatever.
They have a much larger infrastructure, yeah.
But the Baptists certainly have a very long tradition of, each one is individual and they run themselves and.
I was gonna say,
So
that's the
on.
impression this, CFO gave us.
right, cause I would have just said, you know, it'd go back to a diocese or some kind of, that's.
Yeah.
The church is closed, they go back to some overarching corporation that oversees all of them, or if they have some kind of archives or, like, I feel like there's. Yeah, if some of the records will go somewhere else, there's sort of central, but I do feel like, yeah, most. Most denominations have some kind of a central body that.
Right, but he's saying the local
Baptist
may own the
should not
building.
be that.
Baptists are very local. And very independent.
Yeah.
Each church is very independent, unlike some other churches which are more central.
One has, I've told anyone yet. I got a email from Ryan, Joe Cataldo's project manager. And he asked us, the commission, to look at a house, 359 King Street. It's a pretty iconic house on King Street. It's got a big barn with windows, sort of horizontal glass panes. It's like 16 across or something, windows. That house, the owner wants to renovate the house. He wants to do a historic renovation, which is great. He was there at this meeting, so Shanti and I went over this. He contacted me like the last minute, so Shanti and I just went over there. The owner was there, wants to do historic renovation. Ryan was there and Shanti and I, and so we walked through and Shanti gave them her advice as to what she thought should possibly be preserved. You know, that we don't have a preservation restriction or anything, and, you know, we let them know that. But the owner does seem like he does want to do a fairly historic
Oh, great.
preservation, so that's good,
That's really great.
yeah.
And he may be considering hiring Cataldo or Ryan.
Yes,
To do
I
it.
think, yes, they may already be hired, I'm not sure,
Okay.
yeah,
So,
so
To a two-family, right?
I think so, you probably,
It's on the planning board.
oh, it is, okay. Two-family, yeah, I can't remember now,
This is the one that has the little like farm behind it.
yes,
Yeah, it was they called it Farm 359.
Yeah.
for a while.
yes, so they're gone, I guess.
Oh, really?
I believe they're gone, they were renting it, I guess, and they moved out, so it's empty now, we went through it, it was empty. But yes, that's where the farm was.
Oh,
A little farm. So at least that's a house that is gonna be saved to some degree at least, so.
Would they be interested in putting it under a deed restriction?
Don't know,
They can choose. An owner can freely choose to do that.
yeah, I can talk to them about that.
oh, that's,
I think there were some challenges. You know, that Ryan and the owner identified, so I'm not sure, but
Yeah. Well, I would approach it this way,
Yeah.
like say, hey, you know, you guys could choose to do a historic deed restriction
Right.
and you're doing a historic renovation. And so this would be your way to kind of making sure that as you rehabilitate these historic features, that they're preserved forever,
Correct.
basically,
Right.
even to future owners.
right,
And my thought would be, like, they're proactively reaching out to you, so.
yes,
If we could potentially proactively get a historic deed restriction, then you know, we could work with them as opposed to how we come in now, which
Right.
is we're trying to save, whereas, if they're open to it, you know, they can help tell us what they wanna save, and we can use our mechanism to do that.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
If they were interested or even only somewhat interested, you could connect them to Rita Olier because
He did it.
he's done that.
Or our new friend over
Our new friends.
Robinson Road.
What?
Our new friend at Robinson Road.
Well, he's already, that's the project manager.
No, the
Oh,
guy.
The guy
Yeah,
who
the guy.
owns the.
Oh, the
home.
new guy. Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. Right.
We bought a property
Yeah.
with a historic deed restriction.
Right.
Yeah,
And, you know, if they would decide to do a preservation action, this commission could be the holder of the restriction because it's private property.
that's correct.
So,
That is
yeah.
correct, so we could avoid them
Right.
significant financial
Right.
burdens.
That's a good idea. I'll talk to them or I'll send them an email. So was anyone here, Carolyn or anyone, did any of you go to the Orchard open house a couple of weeks?
Oh, man, I forgot all about it, I'm so mad.
Nobody? Hmm.
I want the guy's email, cause I'll email him and be like, hey, I forgot, and I wanna come over and say
Yeah.
hi.
Oh, well, that's too bad because I was really eager to hear about it. I couldn't go. I had another engagement at that day, so I couldn't
I
go.
think they're cutting down some of the trees.
That's not a surprise. That's in his plan.
I hear a
His
lot.
plan is on the on the website, I think. Yeah.
I have a funny such story, but also.
You wanna tell us?
No, not yet.
Well, that's all I had to say about that, because no one,
And moving on.
you don't want to tell us, no?
Not yet. I
Okay,
tell it at the end.
okay. So I haven't set up hybrid meetings yet for us for the winter. Remember, I mentioned last week that I might set up hybrid meetings in case of bad weather. I haven't done it yet, but I think I can do it if I can figure it out. So let's move on to the draft MOU for the orchard. Does anyone need copies or want copies? I just have, you want?
I have
Donna?
it, I have it.
Huh? You have it or you want this?
Mhm. I
Yeah.
have it.
Okay, all right. So, I don't know how much I explained that before last meeting when you weren't here, but, we've had Shanti, our consultant, work on historic preservation restrictions for the house, the barn, the upper barn, the lower barn. And those could go into place if some entity other than the town owns that property and those structures. Because this commission can't be a holder of the preservation restriction while the town owns the property. It's sort of a conflict of interest.
Gotcha.
It's like monitoring yourself.
Mhm.
So the only way that a preservation restriction could be put in place is if a qualified nonprofit did it, but that costs, we went through this with 12 Robinson and it cost $50,000. That might be per building and there's 3 buildings involved. So I don't think we want to go that route. However, I think that, you know, the town is going to own it. We don't know for how long, maybe forever, because that's what town meeting voted, that the town can't sell it. So I think that we should have some sort of protection in place for the 3 buildings because they are not covered by the agriculture preservation restriction. There is no protection for these buildings right now. So my thought is, as an alternative to preservation restriction, we could have an MOU, memorandum of understanding or memorandum of agreement with the select board between the historical commission and select board. So that's what this is. I added that it couldn't be demolished or altered, these 3 structures, without certification or approval by the historical commission. So that's kind of the heart of it.
Can I just ask, the base document was written by,
This document itself,
yeah,
Shanti and I.
Shanti.
Any thoughts, comments?
I read it before, actually, I thought it was good. I think this would. You know, it's not overly complex, I think it makes the point, so if we could. Get that accepted, I think that would be a good thing.
So I just have some sort of, I agree with, Jonathan. I think that, absolutely needed. I think it's the right mechanism. And I just have some, structural, maybe
Mm-hmm,
grammatic feedback.
sure.
Only because, we wanted to read like a legal contract, so I would put the bottom part. So, this, MOU or MOA is effective as of today and is in effect until the property ownership transfers from the town of Littleton to a private buyer, something like that. 'Cause
Yeah,
that way you're
Put that up
framing,
front.
yeah, because so most contracts have a term up front. You can even say it's the term. Term of the agreement shall be from today through whatever. And then the other thing is, I think so it's been registered. Shanti filled out the paperwork, so by filling out the paperwork, technically the town can't destroy it because it would be under chapter
Where do you see
65.
that you fill that paper?
No, we indexed it.
Oh, you mean in Macris?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, so go ahead,
No, because it's under Macrest.
yeah.
So chapter 65 would apply.
Oh, I see what you're saying, got it.
They couldn't actually demolish the
I see what you're
building.
saying. So I think I should mention chapter 65 and.
Totally, yeah,
Yeah.
just say, pursuant to chapter 65 of the town bylaws, the property being on the Macris register of, I forget the official term.
Ugh,
That's
mass,
okay.
do you want, like, what?
No,
mass-
but you could.
Yeah, on Macris,
thing.
Massachusetts.
Cultural and
Yeah.
cultural
The thing.
resources
No one knows, but-
inventory.
Yeah, as an inventory item, will apply should the town make any attempts to pursue significant structural changes, including demolition or something to that effect.
Does 65 address structural changes or just demolition?
Well, I would, so I think we added the bylaw line about significant structural changes that constitute demolition, but I'd have to
Oh,
look it up.
Okay, but we want to cover significant changes, not only that would.
Well, yes, this
constitute
MOU
demolition.
has to go
Yeah.
beyond that.
Yeah, yeah,
Tell me
yeah.
why, you already have this chapter 65
Right.
protection. What you really want is that you wanted this to read like a deed restriction, but not be a deed restriction, because you can't have a deed restriction because you don't have a change in ownership.
Right, yeah, no, that's great. Anything else?
The only other thing would be the upper barn
Mm-hmm,
is referenced in paragraph 2 before it's defined. You do define it in section 4.
I see,
So I would actually move so I put the term first. Then I would put like the whereas statements, right? So you say, whereas the property is comprised of approximately 123 acres of land, the property is composed of 3 historical buildings.
mm-hmm,
Property has a house in Lower Bryan, and its ownership is with the town, therefore a historical deed restriction cannot be applied. Therefore, the select board agrees to the terms of this MOU. And then you list what you're basically saying.
okay,
You want me to try and edit it for you?
Yeah.
That make it easier?
sure. Thank you, that's great. Anyone else, comments? Okay, I think that is no. Great, thank you. That's very, very helpful, Andrew. Good. And then, once we are okay with it, then I think I need to run it by town council. I think that's
Yeah.
required.
Absolutely.
And then after, well, yeah, I think run it by town council first, then I would set up a meeting with the select board and talk, so we can talk about this, because they don't know anything about this yet.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Surprise, we're coming for you.
Okay, great. I mean, they know about it because town meeting approved CPC funds for 3 preservation restrictions for these structures.
Oh,
So, but no one really understood the machinations of, well, you can't have a PR and you're on town-owned land, you know, that whole thing.
Right.
So, right,
Right, so there are PRs written.
yes. Yes, they're draft right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, once Shanti and I massage them a little bit more, I will give them to all of you to take a look at
Yeah.
and see if you have any comments. I wanted to have them in place,
Ready to go.
ready to go.
Love it.
And I figured whatever she wrote in the PRs, we could use for the MOU, but the MOU came out much simpler. She thinks the MOU can be very simple,
Yeah,
so it doesn't have to be as detailed as the PR she thought.
that's fair. Well, again, because you're patrolling yourself. right?
Exactly.
So theoretically,
Right,
the select board would ask us for our input
right,
and recommendations
Right.
before they did anything.
right,
So we wouldn't need a PR.
right, right.
Right. I still love the MOU idea.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's important too. Okay. Historic markers. I know we've discussed them before, but we have to come to some decisions. The more I think about the plaque at Harley, the more I think we should try, if we can, to move it to that other place that we talked about on the conservation land, because nobody's ever gonna read it where it is. Nobody on that curve is gonna stop their car and read it, ever.
Yep,
So
I agree.
the issue is, if we can find the concrete marker, you did a lot of research, didn't
Yeah.
work out.
Yep,
Chris, I think, came up with some information,
fantastic.
but he's not here tonight, so, oh wait, maybe he's sending it, no. So I think he was gonna send it tonight, but if he doesn't send it tonight, we'll talk about it next time
Sure.
and see if we can get a new concrete marker. I suppose we could move the old one, but it's devil.
Mhm.
So I think maybe if we can get a new concrete and move it over. So what do you guys
Maybe
think?
it just could be, maybe it just needs cleaning.
Maybe it needs cleaning, yes, and we can have someone do that.
Well, again, there's also other options.
Right.
So like we looked at granite, right, which is cost
Expensive.
prohibitive and I don't think anyone knows how to pour cement, but potentially we could do something like cinder block, right? Something to,
Cinder block?
yeah, you know what I mean, to build like the base.
Mhm.
And then put concrete on the outside of it, so it looks like a big concrete thing, but it actually is not something that somebody who knows what they're doing made. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right,
I mean-
Have we flirted with the idea of talking to like DPW if this is something that one
They
of
could
them
do.
could.
yeah, I haven't talked to them. I guess I'm going to see what Chris came up with, but yes, I will talk to DPW.
Yeah.
I think I'll wait to hear what Chris says.
Well, we need the DPW's heavy equipment. There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
way
Yes,
we could, I mean, we could go and supervise, but this thing is gonna be like
right,
hundreds of pounds.
really?
Oh, come on, you and I could move.
Sure. Sure.
And then, oh yeah, I was also thinking, talking to Middlesex to see if they could
Oh, yeah.
contribute anything or how much it would cost. All right, so I haven't done those yet. So we'll see what Chris, so first of all, I guess my first question is, do we have a consensus in this group that we think we should move the marker from where it is to, what is it? How many feet over to the conservation land near it?
Mhm.
Everybody agree?
Yes.
Okay, do we need a vote?
Can I ask you a question? So if it's conservation land,
Oh, we have to talk, yes, we have to talk to the
we'd
conservation
have to
commission,
get permission.
Yes,
to.
or whoever owns it, the
Conservation.
trust or the conservation commission.
I think bring it up to the Conservation Commission
Yeah,
first and then.
okay. All right, so I didn't want to talk to them until I knew everyone here agreed. Sounds like we do. All right,
Yeah,
so,
though I have to say, I don't think that reading the markers from a car
right,
is something that anybody's gonna do anyway.
No,
Because there are all these markers all over the
Right.
place. They're the Massachusetts markers, the New Hampshire
Right.
markers.
True.
And I know I like to see them and read them, but I just read the
While you're in the car.
heading, I can't.
So for some of our markers, someone could pull off the road and stop and look
Yeah.
and read them. This is a place where someone cannot pull off the road. So
Okay,
that's kind of what my
All
thought
right.
process is.
I mean, lots of people walk by too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, there's a lot of us walk in there.
Some people
Yeah.
rock on it.
Yeah.
So you think we should consider leaving it where it is?
Oh, no.
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 Okay.
No, I think over by
By
the
the-
head of the trail is
Yeah.
a good place.
Oh, there's a trail.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's. Mill
I've
Hill.
been down there.
So, yeah.
It's not bad
nice
trail.
Trail and
Oh, yeah, it goes down by the pond or river there, the Mill Hill.
Beaver Brook.
goes up.
Beaverbrook, Beaverbrook, goes down by Beaverbrook. Oh, nice.
Oh. Yeah, no, it's a nice little trail and I mean, not like it's crazy busy, but people definitely walk it and
Yeah.
especially for people that are doing like the tree hunt, it usually has a tree out there, so people, a lot of, do you ever do the tree hunt? No.
No, this is the first time hearing of it.
The
But-
little town, the Littleton town tree hunt, little town.
No, I did not know that.
You walk all the conservation properties and plant trees and
And then what?
then you submit, if you find all the trees, you submit your name. or
They're like
team name.
decorated.
They're really cutely
Yeah,
decorated. And then you can win
Oh.
something. You get entered into a
You're
lottery. you
kidding
can win
me.
things.
Oh. Yeah, my dog and I are exploring the town. As you know, you've seen me there all the time.
See, so now. got
I'll be looking for the
conservation
tree.
Properties.
Okay. good to know.
It's over the Christmas,
Season,
yeah,
yeah,
season.
understand.
Well,
Well, that's exciting. Well, now we have a mission then.
yeah, gotta get up before the holidays.
And the problem is it gets dark at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's been really tough, but, okay.
But yeah, no, I think it over there. And then maybe it will be motivation for them to also get a new sign for Mill Hill.
Yeah, that
That sign's
not in good shape,
Mm.
to say the
Maybe we
least.
could casually slip that in. the
Yeah.
conversation with them. But I think because it is technically a conservation land, we should approach them first.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah,
Yeah,
okay. All right,
we can,
oh, yeah,
maybe we could convince them to do like a kiosk like they did at Browns Wood.
we could have both
Yeah.
on
Oh.
one kiosk.
Great idea.
we could have-
That's an interesting
That's a great
idea.
one. Yeah, Browns Woods, I see it all the time, that thing we did with the
Yeah,
chicken on farming.
I wonder if a kiosk would be cheaper than putting up a new flat, like marker.
I think we should do a marker.
I mean, I like the marker.
could do both.
Yeah, we could do both. We could get both.
Yeah, alright,
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of feel like we should have the plaque too,
yeah,
but I think a kiosk is a very interesting.
I agree,
idea.
great idea. Definitely a spring project.
Yeah.
But- Yeah, and then this, is this the one that goes on Newtown?
Yes,
Cause that's the one that the DPW stood up. Now it's just sitting there empty, and so I think we need.
so so I have two issues with that particular marker. One is, they got it up, which is great, that was very nice of the DPW to raise it up for us. But it looks very short.
Yeah,
So maybe like you guys said last time, maybe some of it's sunk into the ground. I don't know, but it's very short. So do we want a taller one? Do we want a new marker? And if we are considering it, is that the best location? Because it's right on the corner. Again, no one's really gonna pull their car over.
but I
to
think
read the
you see
marker.
it, I think
You
it,
do see
you
it,
see it when you go down.
yeah.
So I was gonna say, my thought would be we get the plaque for it, we put the plaque on it. Because it is a great win for us, cause it is fairly visible.
Yeah.
And if we do feel we need to raise it, we can always raise it,
Okay,
because you can just, I think. My guess would be, smash up the concrete and it would come free and then just move it.
okay.
It is a little bit high too, right? Cause it's kind of up on the hill. So
Yeah.
maybe
It is
if
a
you're
little
standing there,
Right, yeah.
it may almost be
Yeah,
high height.
I think they moved it. I
Oh,
think they
really?
Moved it out.
Oh,
And they might have, because chances are, if they had their machinery on the road, you know what I mean, and they might have like pulled it out and then, the reach of their thing, so we might
Okay.
have gotten a free move.
So we'll leave it where it is. We'll get the new plaque and put it on this one. That's fine.
And
Everybody.
that actually, if you're coming on, whatever it is on
Yeah.
the show.
Side road. Yeah, no show road.
You just have to stop there. So actually, there you do get a chance to read it, though if you're going on Newtown, of course, you don't.
Well, yeah, but I think you see it,
You
you're
see
you're
it.
looking to see if the car is actually
Right.
gonna stop. And so you're like, oh, historical marker, Volvo, right? I think
Yeah.
it works.
That's good. Okay, so we have two sets of text here. Does anyone need a copy or you have the copy I sent you today
Thank you.
earlier today? The top one is the shorter one, the bottom one is the longer one. It isn't a huge difference. The top one does not have the words, which the bottom one does, which included portions of Lake Nagog and Fort Pond.
Okay, I have two things. First of
Mhm.
all, I think the shorter version, I just think shorter versions are better. But then secondly, it's not quite a dangling participle, but it's a dangling phrase here. Because which included, it sounds like the Indians included proportions
I
of the,
did think of that.
of the lake rather than the reservation included. So if you're gonna include that, you wanna put that phrase after reservation rather than after Indians. Secondly, in the second one also, in exchange for her upkeep in her old age, I don't think you want the two hers. You could leave out either one of them in exchange for upkeep in her old
Yeah.
age or in exchange for her upkeep in old age or something like that. But,
I agree.
I
That's
think,
in the first one too. We have
Oh.
to fix it.
I
Yeah,
would say for upkeep in old age.
I would agree.
yeah,
Yes.
okay,
Car up, yeah.
okay, great.
and so I would, I mean, if you want to include that thing about the Lake Nagog and Fort Pond, you gotta put it after reservation. Myself, I would prefer just leaving it out.
I do agree. I
You
always want
say
to have,
that,
I
yeah.
know, I always want to have so much information, but at the same time, knowing that like, even just looking at them with like immediately, I'm like, oh, it just looks. It looks less overwhelming. The top looks less
Absolutely.
overwhelming,
Yeah.
even though it's what, 5 words, like a little bit more than that, but
And this is, even the top one is a lot for our plaques, but I think all the information was interesting.
Yes.
so I would go with the top one.
And you
So
know,
leaving out the which included.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, top.
I agree. I agree that I always want to be like, but I want to have that on there too,
Yeah.
but it's cleaner.
Donna,
I like the first,
you like first?
it flows better.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's true, it just, the bottom one is way too, it's just too busy, even though it's only one line, it's something different. So, okay, sounds like we are in agreement. We'll go with the first one. I'll take out the second her in that sentence. I have to add a period to the end of the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's
Oh,
it.
right.
Yeah,
And,
okay.
and how do we pronounce Sarah Doublet in,
Wanunu, is that right, Carolyn? I think so. Wanunu, oh, Wanunu. Oh, Winnehu, is that spelled right? I'll check the spelling because we have it in our book.
The only other thing you could do,
Yeah.
I don't know how important this is to the story, that in exchange for her upkeep in an old age. Is that necessary? Like, would we rather, we could cut that part and keep in portions of Lake Nagog and Fort Pond. I don't know which one is preferable.
My personal feeling is to keep for upkeep for her upkeep in old age, because that to me says
It
something
explains
about their
it.
relationship.
Yeah.
They had a good relationship, right? I don't know, at least to me, that sort of says that.
That's just the only other thing I could see that
Yeah.
we could
Hmm.
swap out for it without losing.
And frankly, when I read the top one without, Lake Nagog and Fort Pond, it really doesn't matter. So what? So it includes Fort Pond,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Unless it's super important to point
No,
that
I
out,
don't think
which.
so. Does anyone think that's really important?
No, I like that it's talking about a real, Sarah Double, like, that is a name, and so I think it ties better to the town, and, I mean,
I like personalizing it.
yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. Having a person attached to the story is I think,
Yeah.
better than,
Right.
Yeah.
All right, sounds like we're in agreement. I'm gonna have them go ahead and, I'll go ahead and order the plaque.
Yeah,
Yeah, excellent.
Good.
That's
Uh,
nice, we're actually, instead of sort of standing
right,
at the door and trying to
yeah,
stop things from happening, we can actually do a few things.
right.
Yeah, I like that.
And then the last plaque was the Porter Road plaque. I don't, anyone had a chance to look at it. If not, we'll talk about it next week.
Porter Bridge.
What did I say? Porter Road Bridge? Porter Road Bridge, yeah. Chris cleaned it up. He cleaned it up quite a bit. I think it looks okay, although I haven't been out there for a few months, so, we can look at it again. We could decide in the spring if we want to wait till after the winter, see how it looks. But, that's another one we should decide on. And if you haven't been there, it's hard to find. It's down Porter Road. It's on the side. It's not a monument like concrete marker like the rest of them. It's on a rock towards right by the old wooden bridge. You have to walk off the road to the side to find it. So,
Literally a rock.
It's a big rock though, I
Why
like
is a
it,
big rock?
I like having things on big rocks like that.
Unlikely to walk off, right?
oh, could we use the big rock at the bottom of Mill Hill? For the Parley plaque? There's a big rock there,
Mill Hill, where's it? It's a
Yeah,
big
there's
rock.
isn't it? Am I inventing this? Pretty sure.
So it's just a
You
rock.
probably know it best,
I was gonna say, you probably know that. Yeah, you're over there.
I used to walk.
Let's see if I can. Well,
Is it by your house or somewhere else?
no, it's at the bottom of the trail,
Oh, the bottom of the trail.
yeah.
And people, who walk there park along the fence, is that what they do?
Where,
Yeah,
at this
there's-
trail?
there's
There's a
like-
parking
Yeah,
lot.
there's a tiny little parking lot.
2 or 3 cars could fit in
Oh.
it, maybe, or probably 2 or 3.
Oh, man, she.
Oh, there isn't a big, there's
what is
this,
that?
there's this.
Is that a wall?
No, it's big, I don't know, it's a big slab.
Where is it on the trail?
Oh, there's this rock.
No,
So that's in front of Parley, right? Parley's over here.
Harley is there.
Okay, yeah, so that's way,
So
way down.
over here, yeah, it is, but you
Historical
can
markers
still,
over
yeah,
there.
the historical marker's like right in here. So, I mean, yeah, it's over here. But like.
But
this-
you'd see it, cause
But
people
you would see
stop
it.
to.
People park here. And like this sign needs to be redone, so we could. Yeah, there's a big.
you mean it's
see
there
this.
now, right in the parking lot?
No, there's just like a big slab there.
In the parking lot?
Yeah,
It's like off of the woods,
Oh, I don't remember that. Okay.
yeah.
But now you're thinking it wouldn't work or it might?
No,
If we
there's
pulled it.
also this big rock, and I was thinking, in my head, I was thinking it was over here,
Mhm.
this, and kind of farther out, but. That would be nice if if we could move it over
Or
there.
could we move?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Probably not,
okay.
probably not.
All right. So the last item, on the agenda, although there was the other thing I sent you about topics, projects and ideas for the future, which we'll talk about in a minute, but the last thing on the agenda is outreach educational activities. So the main thing I think at the moment is the award certificate for 12 Robinson.
Mhm.
So
Do
you were,
we,
what?
yeah, I just,
You're gonna work on it.
language. Did you ever find
I didn't look for it more
Okay.
after that, but I
Okay.
can try to.
You're
find
looking
it.
for one that exists? Some-
Yeah, because I
something
know
else?
I just had one not too long ago, it's in a pile somewhere, but.
All right, so nothing on that for now. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no, I dummied up one, but think need to work out what the language is to be on there. So if we wanna. I think we were hoping to mimic it off of that.
Okay, yeah, why don't you do that?
Um,
And then we can look at it. I think I should let Joe know first, though, before we
well,
contact
I
the
don't
select
know.
board about doing it at one of their meetings,
Yeah,
right?
that's a good idea.
Don't you think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Okay, so, so I'm gonna talk to him first and then contact the select board and let them know?
Mhm.
Okay,
Well, I think we should probably make the award first.
Yeah.
Then we tell Joe, then we go to. the-
Yeah.
Yeah, in case it takes a while.
Yeah, I'm
really?
just saying. just
Really?
saying. Well, we've been talking about it for 3 years, that's all, I mean, so. Just wanna make sure we get there.
Right,
Alright, so I mean, this is, I can show you what I've dummied up, like, but I guess we just have to work on. Just has to work on the language of it. So,
Alright. Yeah.
that looks nice.
It's properly flourished.
Yeah, yeah,
like, like historically flourished. I like it.
Yes,
very nice.
So yeah, it would just be
So what does that say on the?
for your wonderful work to preserve the historical integrity of 12 Robinson Road. We are honored and proud to have a citizen like you among us. But I think
Yeah, we could talk about it.
work on the language a
Yeah.
little bit, but I can bring this around to just flip it around. And like maybe we can get like a.
Did you put the
Oh,
town seal or
Yeah.
something on it?
that's great. Right, like there should be like I think you can buy like the foil and like, right, take it to the clerk's office, they should have the stamp, right?
Yeah,
oh yeah, the embossing.
yeah, I think we should do that, Jonathan.
Fancify it, yes.
Yeah,
Put it in a little frame,
So, but if there's any
Yeah.
language
Hmm.
that we wanna.
right.
okay. Yeah, I guess I'd like to see what the old one said and then we can
Yeah.
kind of,
It was very simple.
very simple, yeah. But yeah, oh, that sounds good, great.
That's awesome.
Okay, and any public input?
Adobe.
No, I was just gonna mention the planning board meeting tomorrow night with the 259 King Street, but
Okay,
that's on TV, so you can watch it.
yeah. All right, so, I sent out an email this morning. I think it's probably a good time to think about what future work we may want to do in the near future. Topics, projects, ideas, so if anyone has any
I
thoughts.
think we should think about the long story.
Ah,
When was the last time anybody went to see the condition of the trailer? And in that lot is a company called Earthscapes. And it's a granite crushing company. And it's set up very near to where the long story is. I just think we can't ignore the fact the long store, we're ignoring that. We're not doing anything about it. We're not even talking about it.
You're right,
Yeah. I
Well-
mean, I'll go and look inside the trailer. I don't have the keys or,
does anyone know who has a key?
I might have a key somewhere.
I mean, it's-
You think John Ledger might have it?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
it's an awful situation. And I think before we move on to any new things,
So the
we have a
question though,
responsibility to.
so what? And the reason it's sitting there, it's as stalled, is because we don't have a plan, right? And so I think we need to talk about. So before we know what to do, we need to have a plan. And so, you know, it has been many, many years. And I think that the opportunity to rebuild the Long store just seems completely prohibitive to our means. So the question is assuming that that avenue is closed, what are the other use cases for that lumber? Right? I mean, I think there's other things we could do. But I think they're probably gonna be parts of other projects.
Yeah, the other, I mean, I don't know whether this is feasible, but the other sort of alternative, I mean, the major alternative to us doing something with it is to give it to somebody who would do something with it.
Right.
And since they wouldn't be, I believe, I'm not sure about the legal, the legal restrictions here, but I believe since they're not, they would not be a public entity, that they could do it without some of the restrictions, which was what turned out to be so expensive when we
Yeah.
first looked into it.
Good point. Right, the prevailing wage, right,
I mean, I hate to say things, I mean, because I guess I sort of believe in that idea that people
Right.
should get paid a fair wage for
right,
what they do, but it turns out that that makes certain things almost prohibitive.
yep,
Right, well, I
so-
think, so beyond that, though, is we would, so if you just had the financial means to rebuild it, you'd also have to figure out a public use purpose for it as well, whereas if you figure out a private entity, I don't think we're have the same burdens of the use case either. And I think we
Yeah.
also got into the parking space rules, the ADA accessibility rules, public use rules, right? So like it was going to be $1 million meeting room.
yes,
And that I think was what kind of hung us up in the first place, was simply that
yes,
you know, having a farm display on one half and a meeting room on the other, and a giant handicapped accessible multi-level toilet assembly in the back. It just
you're right,
wasn't really a viable plan.
you're right.
Is there anything left in that trailer worth saving?
Well,
We don't know.
that's the first step, you're right, we have to go look at it, yeah.
Well,
So we have to find the key. So, you know, we
We
can
gotta
ask,
find, I'll look for it.
he can look for it, I can ask John Ledger if he has a key.
Question is I have lots of keys. I have to recognize that it's the right key. But honestly, you know, I can cut a padlock off. I mean, we could just go over there
True.
and break into it.
True. Right,
Yeah,
bring another padlock.
but we'd probably have to tell the owner of the property
Yeah.
that we're showing up with
Yeah,
a thing to cut off padlocks.
So, you know, we don't have to answer this tonight, but maybe we should think about if there are particular private entities that might be interested in that wood, that lumber. So yes, we can start thinking about that, yeah. We've had a lot of other things on our agenda, but this is on our plate, but this is, I think, good timing to think about it. Other thoughts, other projects?
I mean, God forbid if that trailer ever caught on fire and everything in it is gone. That would not look good for us. Somebody would say, how long are you gonna leave it? How long did you?
Well, like you know, they just said what the challenges are. So we have to find a plan before we can move it or do anything with it.
There's also the possibility of him coming tomorrow and saying, you gotta get it out of there.
That's right.
That's the scariest.
Yeah.
part.
That's
What
true.
do we do then?
Yeah, right.
What's the background on this? Just,
Oh, yeah.
sorry,
No,
it
no,
can be
no.
really short. It
No,
doesn't have to
it's okay,
be.
it's an interesting story.
Yeah, so there was a building that was historically known as the Long store. It is at the point by Market Basket.
Okay,
Believe actually it's even more specifically on the site where the
The
town
storage,
tire.
oh, yes,
Okay.
the tire. place.
Actually, I don't think it was that far down. I think it was more,
Anyway, it was
Yeah.
around that
Between there,
area.
yeah.
it was right on the road and it could not stay there.
But the
And-
history of it is it was one of the oldest businesses in town, or the oldest business in town.
Yeah.
In Longstore, it had sugar, hanging things of sugar from the ceiling and rum and
yeah.
all kinds of
It
things.
was, it was a blacksmith on one side and a general store on the other. It was also used as the town's first postal distribution,
Oh, cool.
but not post office. It was just. Sounds like you just got mail there, right? Am I getting it right?
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. And it was, turned into a rental. The property owner passed, and left it to a person who was selling the land to the developer who was building the point.
Okay,
And, we did a lot of research to try and move the structure. We hired an architect who told it was, what, 1740?
Think so. 1740 sounds about right.
Yeah, and we did our best to move it. But then what ended up happening was, our select board, needed us to move more quickly. And it had to do with the fact that there was a state matching grant to widen the road, and put in a traffic light assembly. And that money became in jeopardy. So it got to the point that the developer agreed to give the town a donation, which was enough money for us to have it professionally disassembled.
oh, wow.
And so we professionally disassembled it with a firm that no longer is in business.
Oh, is that
It's
right?
gone, yeah. Yeah, but they were a firm that was known to take apart structures historically carefully enough that they could be cataloged and put back together again. And so she was totally willing to rebuild it somewhere. But
But it never got rebuilt.
it never got rebuilt. And then we had somebody in town who donated a 18-wheeler. And so we moved all of the wood into the back of an 18-wheeler. And it sits there today,
It's been there for years.
many
Yes.
years.
Is it still like down by the point?
No,
Now it's over by the dump.
Okay,
not at the dump, but on the way to,
On the way to the dump,
but we
If you-
did install vents so that there would be some ventilation.
We did
You did
install
that.
that, yeah,
and,
with the
oh,
John.
well, we also, we were hoping to rebuild, to
Yes.
rebuild,
Sure.
somewhere. And maybe even, we had this idea of doing in a conjunction with the Historical Society somewhere across the street from where they are, like whatever that address is, 300 something or other, King Street. And we actually hired a historic preservation architect from Concord, I believe.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
and we have that somewhere or
I
other.
have a copy,
We have this report that he prepared.
$1 million.
But then, when he finished that, we went to somebody who prices, who figures out prices for construction. And we thought it would be a few $100,000, and it turned out to be, what, $1 million or something?
Yeah,
And we said, we just can't see the possibility of getting funding for that. And so we stored it all in this trailer where it sits to this day. There's a lot of wood there, but. And it was
is it
also,
even feasible to rebuild it at this point? If the original firm that took it apart, like, do we have directions?
There are other firms that,
Yeah.
well, if they are still marked, are they still marked with
Yeah.
lumber?
Okay,
yes.
There are other firms, I think, that exist that could do it.
So part of
I think so.
the feasibility study that Jonathan describes,
Mhm.
we actually got fiber or FUBAR, that giant warehouse, and they laid out all the contents. What was that? FUBAR,
FIBA, FIBA,
FIBA.
yeah.
So we laid out all the contents in the
It was
warehouse.
huge warehouse, you laid all
Giant.
the lumber out.
Yeah, and it was all cataloged. And I would say this, and that is that it is not structurally sound.
Mhm.
So if you were to put it back together again, you would have to put it back together on the inside of a superstructure that
Okay.
was actually structural.
And this architect actually prepared
Yes, he
Yes,
did.
it
a
is.
plan for doing
Yeah.
that.
That's correct.
That was
So-
part of the $1 million.
So that's why, part of the reason why it'd be so expensive.
That's right. And being the town, you'd have to comply with the, HERS two energy code. It's actually even harder today because of HERS two. Back then, the energy code was actually easier, right? So now we got HERS two, so you'd have the energy code, you'd have the ADA, you'd have the bathroom requirements, like, it'd be challenging.
Linda, does Shanti know about the long store?
I'm not sure how much she knows
I
about
was
it.
just wondering if she could,
They give us some information or
right,
advice. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
The Historical Society thinks of it often because we often say, we had the long story.
So they would, I mean, they would not have all of the requirements that the town would, or at least some of the requirements they do.
Depends on what you're gonna do with the building. too.
Right.
Yeah,
and Andrew, if you can't find the key, why not break the lock and?
He
buy
did
a
say
new
he
lock?
could do that.
Well, I just need to know the owner of the property so that I don't show up with the Littleton police.
Yeah,
with
right.
My chain
He
cutter.
needs to let the owner know if he's gonna break the lock, that's all, yeah.
If I show up in his parking lot and I start sawing stuff open, he may have concerns. So I don't even know who the owner is anymore.
same person who's always been
Yeah,
there.
Jimmy McNiff, isn't he the Hunter Appliance guy?
Yeah,
Ah.
I'm just concerned because John Ledger mentioned more than one time that the trailer leaked.
Mm. Well,
And-
But I
we
thought,
we put
I
stuff
put
on.
something on,
Send Andrew.
Yeah, but how long ago was that?
yeah, it was a long time ago.
That's true.
No, I do agree. I don't think that your, a suggestion is, at all without merit. I think it's a fantastic time to bring it up. The problem I have is I just don't know what to do. Would you like a lot of wood in your backyard?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
and you also have plans to, you would have plans how to
you need to,
rebuild it.
you need to have a plan, yeah.
Well, no, the
Oh, well,
architect,
we have, yeah, but who's
Yes.
gonna pay for that? We'd have to, yeah, someone else would use the lumber, I think, at this point.
It'd
like
have
you
to be
were
a really big grant.
saying. Yeah,
You'd have
That's
to really.
maybe
big
Shanti can think of something.
maybe. But
Maybe.
no, that's not a bad idea, just to have her know about it and
And
she could take a
land,
look
I
at it.
need land to put it on,
Yeah.
right?
And build another building first, apparently.
Select board what?
Give us that piece across from us between the Masonic Hall and
Yeah.
the playground. I
Yeah.
mean, it was Keith Bergman said that, I mean, they basically said, I think that we could have that lot.
Yeah.
Cause remember, we're gonna have to
Yes.
figure, cause it dips way down at
Yes.
the back and oh my God, what were we gonna do with
That
that?
was the cost that was the issue.
And I think that piece of land had issues where we couldn't build it straight, it would have to be sideways.
Oh, yeah.
remember? Because of the
Yeah.
wetlands. Yeah,
Yeah.
but anyway, it was like 3 years of work
Yeah.
and, we didn't really get very far.
Bummer.
Well, at a minimum, like Donna's suggesting, a few of us or whoever wants to, a couple people could go look at it. Once we get approval by the owner and see how the lumber's doing.
We always do this in the cold.
Yeah, why don't we wait till
People say,
spring?
Like in May, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I also think like, John's son has been instrumental. Cause I think he's almost killed himself a couple times over there, shoveling the roof off.
Oh,
and
no,
all that kind of-
really?
Oh, yeah.
oh dear,
Yeah, and wet aluminum is like super slippery,
oh
so,
dear,
yeah, so John's son, I think we, owe,
Mhm.
yikes.
yeah.
All right, well, we'll think more about that. So before we close, does anyone have any other inspirations on ideas or projects or things we might want to work on?
I'd really like to see more Macris you know, we talked about that for this year, in November,
Like surveys?
survey, yeah, to add some more structures to that, because that's really the only way we have protection of and history of things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this year we're missing the
Yeah.
deadline, but it could be for next year. It's always in November.
I think the grant that starts in November.
I think we also talked about potentially and I forget the right term, but you know it. You were gonna do the thing where you put all of the historical markers online with GPS locations so that you could actually do like a scavenger hunt for historical, GIS, is that what it was?
And that would be a good outreach thing. I think people would like that, don't you think? The public? That's because Rachel isn't busy enough.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
In her spare time.
How hard, I mean, I know, like, is,
Well,
like an Eagle Scout do something like that?
Oh,
Very
great, yeah.
possibly, yeah. I mean, it's,
We have someone who's done something similar.
There was an
Yeah.
Eagle Scout project like that in Lexington. They did it for the old burying ground, which is really cool.
yeah.
Same concept.
Yeah,
for-
yeah. It's, it also depends on like what platform, like if we go through Google, which I mean,
Mm.
would probably be the best because that's where everyone's look for it anyway, so, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Can we submit to Google just their locations in general? Like, you know, how Google has a thing where it like shows you building outlines and stuff like that,
Yeah, but it would also be like if we can have a map that kind of like a driving tour. Or
Yes, a
street
driving
tour
tour,
and
yes.
All these things, we can make something that you can like populate with information when they get there and
right?
doable, it's just a lot.
Mm.
But yes, Eagle
That's a
Scout.
great
Do
idea.
they ever reach out to you guys?
Yeah, in fact, that was one thing I meant to
Yeah.
tell you. I think there is an Eagle Scout that's been maybe approach you because, I don't know if you see at the cemetery, they have those little flag thing. It's like a little disc that you can put the flag
Yeah.
in. And they want to do some more of them and they want to do them up at the old burying ground. So I think, can I give him your email
Yes.
address or the historical commission?
Yes.
Email to some,
Um,
do you actually?
I never
look at that?
checked that. Do you?
I have it, I will check it. Like,
Okay,
I check it.
I forgot about that when we were
Yeah.
talking.
I can.
Because I
do
think he
forward.
wants to email you and get on one of your
Yeah.
agendas.
No, that's something I wanted to mention, because I ran into Andrew Smarko today and he mentioned that as well, so.
Mhm.
They're looking not for funding, is my understanding, but for our support
Oh,
to do these posts for the flags. at
well,
the
we're looking for
cemetery.
their volunteer hours.
Yeah, right, we'll exchange.
With this other project, that would be actually great, though.
Yeah.
That sounds very Eagle Scout-like, doesn't it?
Mm.
To have a GS mapping of all of our
I'm
towns.
sure there's a kid that would like to do that.
So much better than like building bench.
Yeah,
Oh, I kind of like building benches, actually.
We had so many benches in Lexington.
yeah, they do a lot of that here too, benches and boardwalks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If there's, we can throw it out to the kid and be like, you know of anyone else in your troop that.
That's right.
So how do we get contact? So you're gonna give my address
I'll
or,
give, I'll
both
give
addresses.
that address to the guy that I talked to.
Okay, give him mine too.
I
Okay,
can
okay, whatever,
I can forward
you
it
can
to you.
forward it to me, okay. that's
So you do all the stuff on I think the Facebook and stuff. Could we do like a thing on Facebook saying, hey, anyone interested in helping us with the project?
Sure.
You know, kids, high school kids, interested in walking around town.
I mean, I don't know that I have to follow this page, but sure, try. Why not?
I don't know.
You know what I was thinking, maybe Co-Pilot could come up with some ideas for the long story.
listen to her.
You could try it.
Oh my
I'm
goodness, out of left field,
Oh.
probably the best suggestion I've ever heard.
You can try it, good.
I
Go
use it
for it.
every day.
You'd use it every day, wow,
It is
Go for it.
fantastic.
really?
Actually, you just gave me a really great idea. So when I get home, I'm gonna upload the photos from the church into Gemini,
And
right?
what are you gonna do with those?
Is that
What's that?
What do you, with them what?
what Gemini?
That's the Google AI for images.
Right, why not?
Oh.
It'll tell you who it is.
I'll try to tell you.
Only if there's somebody out there.
Right, only if there's somebody out there on the entire internet.
I mean, it will probably make up something for you. but-
It will actually.
It
Never
just
just said
says they don't
that's
know.
the only thing, could
Yeah,
not be
just
accurate.
be careful, it's
But ideas,
it
yeah,
will give you an answer, it might not be the correct.
We have nothing to lose,
yeah,
nothing to lose,
great,
and everything to gain.
okay.
I like it. I like the way you think. Absolutely.
Anything else before we adjourn? We have to pick the next date.
Yes.
So for the next meeting, continue to think about what projects and ideas you might like us to do going forward.
I have our next meeting the 10th, December 10th.
Is that good for everybody?
What is it?
December 10th, second Wednesday of December.
So,
Mhm.
Is that good for you, Andrew? No?
no,
Yeah,
it is.
it
It's
is?
good. It's
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I was gonna say, my co-pilot is coming up with the results as we speak.
Really?
Really,
So moved.
Yeah, so moved.
Do I have a second? Oh,
I can
okay.
second.
Okay, we're adjourned.